Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Thursday afternoon. I'm a little bit later than I normally am, I know. Hope the Thursday is treating you all well. Obviously, it's game day today, 8 p.m. Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United in the quarterfinal of the EFL Cup. So we'll be talking about my last-minute thoughts ahead of that game. Obviously, got some team news that have come out. We've got some injury updates on Romero, Richie, Van der Ven, Mikey Moore, Ben Davies. God, it's miserable just saying how many names there. So we'll be talking about that. We'll talk about Romero contract situation. We'll talk about Hancko as well, the interest supposedly in that. We'll talk about what Ange said about Rashford. There's so much to talk about and get into. We'll say if you're watching this, subscribe. Very much enjoy us for the journey. Morning, Sonia Spurs. Polly, how are we all? Look, let's jump in and let's talk some stuff. And what we'll do is we'll start off with the game tonight because that's the most pressing thing that is happening. Obviously, game tonight, 8 p.m, like I said, in the EFL Cup. Obviously, there were some games yesterday. Arsenal winning 3-2, Newcastle winning 3-1, and Liverpool winning 2-1. So, regardless of what happens from now on, the draw will commence after the game this evening. You are only going to play a good team. That's it. You're only going to play a good team now. And that's exciting. I think it's a good thing for the EFL Cup. I think, teams haven't taken it seriously enough in past years, and I think it's good. Obviously, if we get through the semi-finals, we'll be over a two-legged affair across the week, commencing the 6th of January and the 3rd of February. So about a month apart for those two games as well. Now, when we talk about Man United are, when you talk about healthy as you could possibly hope for as a football team. Mason Mount is obviously out for the game, like I said. Luke Shaw is a more long-term situation. They said Mazraoui has a knock, but there is still a chance that he may play. So in all essence, when you're coming up against Man United, they are as healthy as they can be. You know what I mean? Like, every team has injuries. If you're missing a guy that's always missing in, Luke Shaw, a guy that misses quite often in Mason Mount, in reality, your only real injuries Mazraoui, which you take that at this part of the season, Hey, El Dante, mate, how are you? Chris, how you been, mate? How you been? It's been a long time indeed. So, look, there's that. When we come to look at Spurs' situation with injuries, Ange from his presser yesterday saying that Desir Doggy is sore, obviously coming off against Southampton on Sunday evening, but he is not ruled out of the game. Michael Moore is expected to return to training quite imminently, potentially next week, but imminently. Ben Davies could return next week. And I sort of said when I was looking at the calendar, when he went out injured 2 weeks ago, that I think Boxing Day is the day that he will come back from injury. There is a potential that I could be right there. I could be. He might be the game after, but he should be back, hopefully, within the next 10 days to play. And that's, by the way, not a dig at Dragusin or Archie Gray. For what we could hope for, they've done very well, but it's just at least another body, Richarlison could return as early as the first part of the new year, but let's just see about that. Mickey, Van der Ven and Romero will be out until the new year, which we all expected, but Mickey will probably be back before Romero, is my guess. I reckon Mickey will be back sort of mid-January. Romero, I reckon, towards the end of January. So a little bit of an injury update, somewhat getting healthier. I wouldn't sit here and say we are healthy. And I don't even think if Mikey Moore comes back and Ben Davies is back that I can sit here and say that we're healthy. But Romero coming back, there's also, not Romero, Bentancur coming back, obviously, for Forest on Boxing Day. You would think by Boxing Day we're going to get 3 players back, which, do you know what? It's just nice to get some luck, from with injuries. It'd be nice to get a bit of injury luck and a break from them. Other teams don't seem to get as ravaged as us. So hopefully we have had our bad luck and we'll be able to kick on. Crazy that Hancko's come up in a video title. I know. I wasn't expecting to ever talk about him, but here we are. So meaning Gray will be playing against Liverpool. I would say, yeah, right now Archie Gray will play. Screening our 6-month loan with option, what we saying? No, thanks. He hasn't done very well at PSG, which is obviously the PSG Invitational League, which is Ligue 1. They've had to buy defenders for 50 odd million just to sort of get him out of the way and have players like Pacho starting. So for me, no, and I don't think he would truly suit what we want to do with Ange and what we do with Ange Ball. I think he goes back to Italy. Who in Italy? Would Juve maybe take him? I don't know, but no, not for me, thanks. Let's hope that luck starts tonight. Absolute evening, guys. It's not if we win, it's how much we win by. Oh, Terry, I love that. Good energy, Terry. Keep that energy going, Terry. So let's come on to my last minute thoughts ahead of the game before I talk about the Romero contract. Look, it's a huge game. It's the biggest game that I'd say Spurs have had legitimately for 2.5 years, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, something like that. And that's bonkers to really say. It's upsetting to say as well, obviously. But you know what? People saying that this game's a must-win. I don't see it as a must-win. Obviously, look, if we could win, that'd be amazing. I don't see it as a must-win. You know, people keep talking about there's no excuses to not win these games. It's like, oh, right. Well, you're just looking for an excuse to blame Ange, aren't you? I can tell. But this game, obviously, I think would go some way alongside, obviously, don't forget, we beat Man City in the round before. So, you know, regardless of what you think, we still knocked out the best team in theory, still in England. They're still the champions of last year, you know. They're treble winning on a couple of seasons ago. They're Champions League winning on a couple of seasons ago. They're still, in theory, the best team in England. They're on a bit of a skid at the moment. But let's be honest, who would be surprised if Man City rattled off 10 wins in a row and we're back in the title race? It wouldn't shock me in the slightest. You know, Arsenal need offside goals to beat Crystal Palace. Struggle to score from open play, you know. Liverpool scraping a few games recently, you know, obviously had issues with Fulham. Obviously, by the way, they won't have Andy Robertson when we play them, which is it's a little something. I don't know if Shimmercast will be fit, but a little something that they'll miss Andy Robertson. But look, we'll do that preview another day. We're not doing it now. We're talking about Man United. We're talking about we'll do Liverpool tomorrow. But with Man United, you know, this is a team who is the best team in England due to history of winning things. And even this squad they have now, which yes, maybe isn't what it was 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago, where they were by far the best team in England. This is still a team and a squad that did win the FA Cup last year. This is no slouch. They are no slouches when it comes to big games. And obviously they beat Manchester City last weekend. And I wanted to bring this point in because there's always a mentality thing when you have to get up for a game, you know? Think of if we play Arsenal, we get up for that game. Arsenal get up for that game. It's a mentally exhausting game for what it is, right? Manchester United had that last weekend with Manchester City. They played on the Sunday, just like us. We had Southampton. We cruised. We smashed the hell out of Southampton. And we just sort of chilled in the second half, which I saw people complaining about. And I just, shut up. You're 5-0 up. Who cares? You've killed the game. But in terms of, you know, that's exhausting. And sometimes there's a come down to the game after. Or sometimes you look ahead to that game. You know, the game before that, you're always thinking, Manchester City's after this. We need to be up for that game. And you could say maybe there's a case of that. But you know what? There's no reason why they don't have a bit of a come down after Manchester City. Maybe they start the first half a bit slowly and they come out in the second half and they're a little bit more at it. That could happen. For us, we're coming in after scoring 5 goals and a clean sheet against Southampton. Looked majestic in that first half for it. We also beat Manchester United not long ago. We beat them 3-0. And yes, they were down to 10 men. Trust me, if they had 11 men, they were still getting beat, and they were still getting beat by multiple. It didn't matter. They were getting absolutely abused by us in that first game. So go out there. Yes, we're not as healthy. Yes, we're missing multiple players from that team that played against Manchester United. Well, only a couple of months ago. We're not as strong. I get that. But I tell you what, if that team that played Manchester City turns up and our team that played Southampton turns up, we win this game. I genuinely think so. We would overwhelm them. Their big threat is Diallo. You know, for me, is like I said, if you have Destiny Doggy and he can go, if Destiny Doggy can go, he plays for me. Take Diallo out of the game. That's my attitude. Take Diallo out of the game. Look, Destiny, I think He's had some good games. He's had some bad games. I think a lot of it is down to not having a preseason and obviously a massive invasive surgery. We are probably witnessing some fatigue with Destiny. I think witnessing some fatigue with Pedro Porro, to be fair. But I think if Destiny plays tonight, he's not playing against Liverpool. Think of it that way. I think Jed will play at least one of those games, maybe even both. Obviously, Pedro is going to play at least one of those games as well. And I think for me, if Destiny not 100%, he doesn't play today. Sticks Jed Spence on the left. And I'd be looking at it going, all right, Jed, like down the left, we've got Sonny, we've got Madders, Kulu out on the right. Pedro can create. Pedro can be the main creator in terms of fullbacks this time. That Amad Diallo, I want you to put handcuffs and lock him up and put him in your back pocket. And I think Jed can do it. Defensively, I did a video for the members yesterday, and I talked about some defensive stats from his last full season at a club. He was amazing. You know, he was the best right back, obviously, in the Championship at that time. It was a few years ago. That's how long ago he's had a full season at a club. You could absolutely have that. So, look, they will be coming in knowing, hey, we win these games. We can win trophies. And I think it goes a long way to our attitude as a fan base and as a squad to say, we can still go with everyone, even when we are undermanned. You beat Man City in the last round. They are the EFL Cup kings, the League Cup kings of the last sort of 10 years. This is a team that beat them in the FA Cup final last season. You deal with the two Manchester sides, you get into the semi-final, and you play a big boy again. You're playing Newcastle, you're playing Arsenal, or you're playing Liverpool, all of which give us problems, and they're not easy games. But you never know. Oh, celebrations. Woo. You never know. All right. Not Kolo Mwani for me, mate, if I'm honest. Afternoon, Martin. Do you think Brian Mbeumo can be... I like Brian Mbeumo. I'd love Brian Mbeumo. I saw that Newcastle were looking at Bakayoko. It's vital we get out of the blocks quickly and score 2 early goals. I don't think it's vital to score those early goals, but go out there and, you know, I think it's more so for us. Get those 50-50s won. If you can dominate a team, you'll break that team at some point. With us, win those 50-50s, get creating, get Kulu lively, get Maddison lively. If Maddison's lively, we're going, we're ticking. I think we tick more. If Maddison's at it, we tick so well. And I think this screams a Maddison game. I don't know about you guys, but I think this screams a Maddison game. We can definitely rock United. Ahmad's good, but if he's their biggest threat, we can take them. Abused by us, actually very crazy. Honestly, it's weird, isn't it? Morning, Eric. How are you? Love to see Berg at 6. It's probably Bissouma. Hopefully his head is in the match, man. I'd love to see Archie in that spot. He will get time in that spot, don't worry. But you know what? The key thing for me is if Bissouma is going to come back and play into the team, which let's play the hypothetical. If he comes back in and plays the team, last time he missed a game by letting us down, he was magnificent. And if I'm going to get a 10 out of 10 performance like he did last time, let Bissouma cook. But I would love to see Bergvall start personally. I can see Spence playing first half on the right and second half. I think if Spence is playing, I think if Spence plays, Porro starts. Yeah, I think Destiny might be on the bench as cover. Bruno sums up United. They're a moments team, and Bruno's a moments player. United will have a couple of moments, but they will not trouble us. They look confused in the build-up and open transition. They looked feisty against Manchester City, absolutely. But I guarantee Haaland is not going to want to have a scrap with Radu Dragic because he's a monster and he's bigger than all those Man City players. I'm just saying. I saw him throw around Ruben Dias at corners. But they were up for a scrap. That Man United were up for it. Man United were going there to do a job, and they did their job fantastically well. That is a bang out of form Manchester City side that we've dealt with twice, and we obliterated them one of those games. Turn up anything like that Man City game, United are getting dealt with. That's my honest attitude. But it's a cup game. Anything can happen. And Manchester United are a good cup side at the moment. You have to say. That's all right, Harper. Glad you joined the Discord. Yeah, Discord. Sorry, I mucked up the Discord a little bit. If you do want to join the Discord, here we go. Give me a second. There you go. Join the Discord. So if I'm not live, we can obviously... I put stuff in there. We chat. Rex in there. We chat about the team news when it comes out and things like that. So join Discord if you haven't already. It's free. Don't worry. They got 2 chances of City areas. Exactly, but they did their job. It is long for United's midfield if Maddison and I hope Kulu's on the right. Maddison, Sarr, Basuma or Bergval. I want energy. I want energy in that midfield. And I like Kulu. Kulu out on the right was fantastic. I like Kulu out there, personally. But we shall see. Let's come to some transfer gossip. Let's start transfer news. Let's start with Romero. So James Ollie was talking about it. He's a senior football writer for ESPN and saying that Tottenham are speaking with Cristiano Romero about the possibility of signing a new contract, as well as rumours linking him with obviously Europe's top clubs continue to grow. Now, if you want Romero to stay, let's take his comments as one of the factors into his decision. Owners have got to show that they want to win. That's the irony. And then we also have to win. We also have to be in the Champions League. Now, let's say if you get Champions League football by winning the Europa League, fine. You're in the Champions League. Even if you finish 17th, even if you finish bottom, you win the Europa League, you're in the Champions League. And you've won something because it's 2 birds, 1 stone, right? Now, obviously, I'd rather get Champions League football via the league position and on top of winning stuff. But if it had to be, you got it through the Europa League and you finish 8th, it's something. I can tell you that. I won't be unhappy. But Romero wants to see progression via adding to the squad. That comes on the higher ups. And I totally get why he thinks that. He wins things at international level. He's won Copa Americas and World Cups. He's getting to the age of his sort of mid to late 20s where he's in his slap bang prime and he wants to win. Can we show that we want to win? Or is this a case of if we get him under contract, great, he can't leave. And that's what I don't want. And we've had that attitude with other players. We had that attitude with Kane. And the amount of times we've had great players, Bale, Modric, Kane, all these guys who have been fantastic, and we've not surrounded them properly. He is a very good centre-back. He is our best centre-back. Him and Mickey obviously have a great tandem combo. But we need to be able to surround these really exciting and really great players with more and more exciting players. Now, I like some of the youth initiative. I do. Bergval, I really like the look of him. Archie Gray, I think, is going to be an absolute rock star. Destiny is obviously still young. He will be very, very good. Pape, still young. He looks like he's going to be really good. But you also need ready-to-go guys now. And we haven't done enough of that. We go too far one way or too far the other. We need to be in that little sweet zone in the middle. Where my face is, not where Bale. Not where Bale is or Tom Brady, and not where this shadow is here, right here. Trying to do that opposite. By the way, in a camera, it was mind-boggling. I'd be open to Romero being sold, but I'm not trusting the recruit. Well, if Romero is being sold, it better be at a massive price. He's got 2 years left on his contract. The centre halves that have been sold inside the Premier League, who are half the players his. They were valued 65, 85 million pounds. Romero has to go for more than that. He's a World Cup winning centre-back for a reason. Okay. But yeah, I don't trust the recruitment anyway. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of, really quickly, I found this hilarious. Ange was talking about Marcus Rashford because they were like, would you like Marcus Rashford at Tottenham? And he was like, no, not interested. Shut up. Go away. I love that. Which can I say? A lot of people have asked me, would I like Marcus Rashford at Spurs? And I can give you a categoric no. Hasn't been good for a few seasons. Humongous wages, like 350 grand a week or something for what you're getting there. Yeah, so there's another reason. 3 does not suit what we're trying to do because he does not work hard in a press, doesn't work hard defensively. What's the point? He's also in his late 20s. It's not worth it. Not interested. I'm glad Ange was like, shut up, go away, get out of my face. I love that. That's how you shut down a rumour. And let's talk about Hancko flavoured news. So TBR Football put it through Graham Bailey saying that Tottenham are keen on David Hancko from Feyenoord. David Hancko is one of the several centre-backs who Tottenham are interested in signing. Spurs are keen to find a left-sided defender who could play as a backup to Mickey Van de Ven. I really hate that, by the way. backup. You know me on this channel. I hate the thing of backup. It shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't have starting 11. They're the starters. These are backups. It should be, we've got 4 really good centre-backs for this area. We're going to rotate. Keep players fit. Make them fight one another to get into the starting team of the best competitions. I just, you know what I mean? I really don't like the backup term. I really don't like this. Rotation. We should have rotation. Other big teams have it. We should be no different. TBR Football understands that Hancko could be available in January with finals. £35 million price tag from the summer expected to have now dropped. His contract expires in the summer of 2028. We've also been linked to Ilya Zabarnyi from Bournemouth, as well as RC Lens defender Abdu Kodir Kusanov. Oh, trying to say that after a few pints. But in terms of price, you'd have to say Zabarnyi would be way, way more expensive than a Hancko or Kusanov. So what do we think on Hancko? Let me bring up some stats whilst you give me your thoughts and feelings about him, because I want to bring up all of his details. Okay, that's a fascinating bit of info. All right, let me get into comments. Sorry. Ange would never bring in a player with questionable character. Hancko is outstanding. I watched him at the Etihad in multiple games last season. He's primarily a left centre-back, but is really good at defending and in wide channels. He can also do a very good job at left-back. Eden Adventurous, how are you, mate? Yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to sit here and tell you, hey, I watch all of Feyenoord's games. I don't. I'd be lying to you if I did. But he's played 24 times across the Toto KNVB Becker, the Eredivisie, which is the league, the Champions League, and the Johan Cruyff Schal. I love that name. I need to learn what Schal is, which if anyone doesn't know, you can tell me. He scored 3 and assisted 4. So 7 goal contributions, which is basically just over one every 3 games. He has 7 goal contributions in 24 games. From a centre-back or even a left-back, that's phenomenal. As a defender, that is phenomenal, right? So let's talk about David Hancko and a little bit more about it. Like I say, he plays for Feyenoord, so you're obviously aware. His contract expires in the summer of 2028. He's 27, but he only turned 27 6 days ago. He's a young man. He's younger than me. He's played 48 times for Slovakia as well. So well established and a very experienced international. He plays a lot of football at Feyenoord. Obviously, I don't actually know. Let me just have a look at the table. Feyenoord are struggling a little bit this year. So Feyenoord are 4th. They are behind Utrecht. Ajax are back in the top 2. And obviously PSV are leading the title by 3 points to Ajax. Asa Alkmaar 6th. Go on, Troy Parrott. Love to see it. Love to see it, old Troy. Sorry. Back to David Hancko. Look, I think by what I've seen, an interesting player. Okay, would suit what we try and do. The fact he is a hybrid of that left-back, left centre-back role is suiting for what we've heard. So, because there seems to be reports coming out that we're looking for a player that can play both. There is a guy there that can play both. Now, we talked on this channel before about players like Calafiori, who can do both, So it's not shocking they're looking for a player of that role. It does make a lot of sense. You could say, well, I mean, look, if we're Hancko right now, Hancko be starting. But then again, we might not have seen much of Jed Spence, so But no, Hancko be starting. Look, if we were to go for a player like Hancko, I mean, transfer market value at 35 million euros, so nearly 30 million pounds. I say, if we were to get a Hancko for like late 20s, I could be on board with that. Do you think we signed Dragic for about 25? Something similar to that, I think, could be a great move. Seems to play a lot of football, so a bit of an Iron Man in that regard this season, which I think is one thing Spurs need. We need players that can just be fit and healthy and ready to play, which is the irony to like a Conor Gallagher, a bit of an Iron Man in that regard. I like the move. I do. I like the move. It's not crazy expensive. 2 birds, 1 stone in terms of that left back, left centre back. The ability to then rotate and let Desi Doggy have a game off here and there, which that'd be majestic if we could. Because I think the idea is they were looking at Mickey van der Ven doing that for us this season. And it's like, I get the idea, but we don't have the centre backs around Mickey in terms of the ability to rotate into that area to give him also games off when he needs them. We didn't have that. So you're playing Mickey really two positions and you're playing him as much as you possibly can before he breaks down. Whereas if you could say, all right, we're playing Mickey once a week, Hancko's playing once a week, Dragajin and Romero, I think you keep him fitter for longer. And that's the key thing in this. So I like the move. I hope Spurs, I do really want, by the way, I talked about a left back, and I would say if I had to get an out and out player for either a left back or a left centre back, I wanted the left back and I want Patrick Dorgu, right? But if the idea is we're not going to get Patrick Dorgu, we're going to get a Hancko, he's going to play in both, I can get on board with that because at least we're getting a good international footballer who can play both. And he's going to get regular game time because of that, because Mickey and Destiny aren't going to spend a lot of time being fit, let's be honest. The fact that Destiny's done as well as he has this season with no preseason and off a big injury, fair bloody play, because I didn't expect him to be able to play as many minutes as he has. But I like this move a little bit. Hank has 3 years left in his deal. Yeah, 2028. Hey, Fisher Plants, mate, how are you? Spurs are interested in Skriniar. He would not start ahead of any of our centre-backs, mate. He can't even start at PSG. In Ligue 1. Skriniar's aura from when he was at Inter Milan is nothing there anymore. He's not as good as he was back then. Romero and Mickey are both better than Skriniar by a good distance as well. I'd want versatility in January and out-and-out players in the summer. Oh, I like that, Harper. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't say to Lecce, hey, that Patrick Dorgu, he's all right. How about we get him in the summer? All right. You and us, little gentleman's handshake, get him in the summer. You have him now. We'll get him in the summer. I think Lecce go, that sounds all right to me. All right. Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Get a little deal agreed. I could be on board with that. And if they went, we're putting it in for this January, but it's going to count towards the summer, I'd go, all right, not a problem. Even though it's a January signing, even if it was for the summer, I could totally get on board with that if they sign a Hancko. Could totally get on board with that, not a problem. Then Dorgu may join in the summer. On board, tick me off, happy days, But if we are bringing in players this January, which I think we bring in 2, I don't think we get more than that. I think we bring in 2. January is too difficult a month to bring in multiple players. I think you get 2. I think when we think about last January, where we got someone in the middle, which was Timo, we got someone at the end, which was Dragajin. I think you get someone mid-January. This January, I hope it's the defender. And then, look, they might get a keeper and he might be a bit of a cheaper one. And maybe then, in theory, that could be a third. But for me, I would want an attacker. And the reason why I say an attacker and not a midfielder is because we're playing a midfielder at centre-back. Right now, if we had centre-backs, you'd have Maddison, you'd have the ability to play Kulu in there, Sarr, Basuma, Bergval, great, perfect. You don't need another one in there right now. Get another attacker because more missing time wasn't great. Obviously, Timo's missing time in their injury, not great. Odebear's out for a while. Yang, let's see what we have in Yang, but I'm not rushing it. I'm not putting any pressure on Yang to come in and absolutely kill it. Anyone that is unfair, I think, to him. He might put that pressure on himself and let him do that. For me, I'm going to give Yang all the way into the summer. Let's see what we have next season with him. He needs time to adjust to a whole new way of living. Forget, adjusting to ange. He needs to adjust to the new country and new teammates and new style of play on top of all these things, Van der Ven is too injury prone, unfortunately. He might be Angelo, but he's still better than Skriniar. Reinforcement, yes, but always hard to get good players. Yeah, well, in January, no one wants to sell their good players, do they? With the speedies, more rest. Do you think we pick up any players on loan? I could see a loan with obligation to buy, maybe. I think the only way you get a loan deal I genuinely think the only way you get a loan deal is if you move. Oh, by the way, if you've not seen it, sorry, I just saw it. If you've not seen it, check out Donnarumma's injury from yesterday. He's a massive cut down his side of his face because he got studded in the face. Brutal. Looked proper gnarly. looked proper gnarly. So I was just looking at the picture of it. Don't know why it came on my phone. That was a bit weird. Yeah, I think if you move off Timo, you might get an attacker online potentially, but we shall see. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today. I may do the preview after the game. Okay, wait and see. It goes on a little bit later. I might want to go to bed. I don't know. We'll see. But thanks very much for joining me. Join the Discord in the link there. I'll put it in the comments down below as well if you're watching this back. And I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your days. Peace.